The aroma of pumpkin pie baking in the oven fills my home with warmth, a scent I've cherished for years. It's a promise of love and togetherness on Thanksgiving. I glance at the clock and memories flood in. Jacob getting off the school bus, his face alight with joy. "Mom, is the pie ready?" he would call, his voice echoing through the halls, always pulling me back to simpler times. I remember crafting our holidays with meticulous care. The year Jacob turned 10, I spent days preparing, searching for the perfect turkey, and experimenting with stuffing recipes. I set the table just so, each place adorned with a name card, Jacob, my pride, beaming across from me. Every dish carried a piece of my heart, a testament to my sacrifices. I chose to stay home and nurture him, prioritizing our cozy life together. Those warm meals and shared laughter felt worth it. Yet, shadows crept in, unnoticed at first. During his teenage years, as he pulled away, I felt a loneliness burgeoning. I became aware of how much I relied on our connection during late-night homework sessions, as secret texts gave way to social media scrolling. A distance grew that I struggled to bridge. I remained devoted, clinging to the hope that our bond would flourish again. After his wedding, concern turned to a quiet anxiety. I sensed a change in Jacob whenever Clara was around, a subtle shift in how he looked at me, as if our shared moments were overshadowed by something I couldn't pinpoint. Clara's initial charm faded into sharp edges. She would offer unsolicited advice on my cooking, slowly undermining my cherished recipes. At first, I brushed it off, thinking perhaps she simply wanted to contribute. But the jokes and subtle jabs crept in, a remark here, a laugh there. Clara made fun of my old-fashioned decorating choices, planting seeds of doubt in Jacob's mind. "You could let her take the lead, Mom," he casually suggested, wrapped in laughter that felt like a betrayal. As I stir the gravy on the stove, I recall how I nurtured Jacob, teaching him compassion and the value of family. Yet, the tightness in my chest grows. Each recollection feels like a thread fraying, threatening to unravel the tapestry I wove with love and sacrifice. Determined to keep things smooth for Jacob's sake, I've swallowed my pride countless times, until now. The moment Clara announced her parents were joining us hits me with a surge of anger and frustration. The mantra echoes in my mind: "Injustice cannot overshadow my love." Those words become a flickering light in the haze of humiliation, urging me to find the strength buried beneath layers of sacrifice, reminding me that I am still here and still worthy of respect. Next, I will develop Block 2, the arrival of the daughter-in-law and first signs. The holidays, once a time of joy, turn into a battlefield in a matter of moments, or at least that's how it feels. As the sun sets on Thanksgiving Day, I stand in my kitchen preparing everything for our family dinner. The crisp sound of the kitchen timer snaps me back, signaling that the turkey has finished roasting. I wipe my hands on my apron, glancing at the table, now a canvas of my efforts, laden with my favorite dishes. The stuffing, rich and savory, the cranberry sauce, tart and sweet, and of course, my beloved pumpkin pie just cooling down. It's then that I hear the front door creak open, followed by the sound of punctuated laughter. Clara strides into my home with an energy that feels as foreign as it is disconcerting. Dressed in a stylish outfit that I can only describe as bohemian chic, her presence eclipses the humble warmth of our family gatherings that I've cultivated over the years. The boys sprint to her, abandoning their father, Jacob, as the air fills with her confidence, almost too much confidence. "Maggie!" she calls cheerfully, managing to stretch my name into a condescending sing-song. "Do you need any help, or should I just take over the kitchen while you relax?" The casual dismissal stings, but I force myself to smile. I remind myself that she's new to the family, trying to find her footing, no matter how clumsy. While my heart wrestles with the instinct to defend my culinary territory, I push aside my discomfort, unwilling to create tension. I've got it under control, Clara. Thank you, I reply, my voice steady, but the taste of resentment lingers. The moments pass, and as the group settles around the table, I notice Jacob's gaze drifting between Clara and me. Rather than the warmth that used to fill our family table, I sense a growing chill, a fissure forming. I recall how the first Thanksgiving after Clara arrived, I felt infused with hope, believing our family dynamic would grow closer. Clara's first dish, her family recipe for mashed potatoes, seemed an olive branch, a gentle nudge toward inclusion, and I welcomed her into my kitchen. But that night, I should have noticed the shift. Clara's insistence on smothering my signature mashed potatoes in cream and garlic was jarring. They hardly resembled my own, the ones Jacob grew up loving. I felt my heart sink as she served them with a flourish, presenting them as if they were her creation, batting away any of my pride in the past. Each gathering since then has layered on the tension, jibes and comments disguised as jokes. As we sit around the table now, I steal glances at Clara, her arrival marked by her animated storytelling, an exaggerated flair that holds Jacob rapt. When her eyes catch mine, there's a hardness that sends a chill down my spine. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. "Can you believe Maggie still makes everything from scratch?" she quips, the edge thinly veiled in laughter. "I mean, who has time for that? I just buy everything from the store. Much easier." Laughter erupts from the kids. It's an innocent sound, but it pinches my heart. I serve, forced to swallow my anger and hurt, the tight knots in my stomach growing tighter. I feel exposed, revealing the cracks in the careful structure of our family dynamic. Each joke is a reminder of my unwelcome status. Jacob chuckles along with her. I glance at him, my boy, my pride. His laughter makes the sting feel sharper. In that moment, I feel my composure teeter. I want to reach out and say, "This isn't funny. This isn't who we are." Instead, I nod, offering a fragile smile, battling the tide of embarrassment threatening to overwhelm me. The evening drags, punctuated by Clara interrupting me at every opportunity, filling in gaps, correcting my stories, steering conversations away from me. I can almost feel the walls closing in, the laughter around me muffling the sound of my own heart, aching for recognition. Why can't Jacob see the truth behind her carefully curated persona? As dinner transitions to dessert, I place my pumpkin pie on the table, my heart racing as I carve into it, serving slices with trembling hands. "Try it. It's made from scratch with a special blend of spices," I offer, hoping for a sliver of approval. Clara smirks, her fork poised but not moving to take a bite. "Thanks, but I'll pass. I prefer the store-bought stuff," she bites back cheekily, her eyes locking with mine. The laughter around us fades, leaving an echo that throbs in my ears. I sense Jacob's intense gaze on my face, searching for a response, but all I can think of is how much I've given, how fiercely I've fought for this family, and how much it's unraveling before me. I hold my breath, feeling the weight of humiliation claw at my dignity. I glance around the table, my heart pounding in my chest. As Clara dismisses my pie, a melody of anger courses through me, mingled with pain, a reminder that I am here and I refuse to be overlooked. All at once, the mantra resurfaces, a whisper fighting to strengthen me. "Injustice cannot overshadow my love." Those words echo in my mind like a shield as I begin to recognize the need for change, the necessity to reclaim my voice. The laughter resumes around the table, but it bears a new weight, a sharpness that leaves me more resolved than ever. Next, I will develop Block 3, Silent Humiliations. The days following Thanksgiving unravel in a disquieting tangle of emotions, and each passing hour seems to amplify Clara's sharp comments in my mind. It's as if I've entered a waking nightmare, aware of how easily these humiliations seep into my daily life. I arrange flowers at the kitchen table, their vibrant colors contrasting starkly with my growing despair. The aroma of my beef stew warms the air, but the soothing scent tempers my heart. I catch a glimpse of my phone lighting up on the counter, the family chat buzzing with activity. Clara's message stands out from the rest. Can't wait for the next holiday. I'm already planning the menu. Maggie, just relax. I got this. It's accompanied by a photo of a store-bought cake, the kind I used to bake from scratch. The joy of the past retreats further into the shadows as the reality sinks in. I am being eclipsed, not just as a cook, but as a matriarch. I set the phone down, feeling the bitterness rise in my throat like a sickening tide. Memories of crafting centerpieces with Jacob flood my mind. Me teaching him how to choose flowers, share laughter over our choices. Today, that warmth feels more like a distant echo than a reality. Each moment in the kitchen becomes layered with frustration. The joy of cooking has dwindled, replaced by a wrenching sense of invisibility. And it isn't just Clara. I feel changes in Jacob's demeanor, too. His attention shifts more to her, as though my place in his life is fading, too. As Sunday dinner approaches, I pour my heart into the meal, the rich smells of the beef stew and fresh-baked bread filling the space with love. The table is set, each place perfectly arranged, yet I sense anxiety creeping in, a vortex threatening to consume my carefully curated peace. When they arrive, Clara's laughter fills the room with an unwelcome brightness. Jacob trails behind her, his hands full of snacks and drinks, grinning as he hands me a bag. Clara and I brought these. I feel my heart sink. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Instead of the warm embrace that once accompanied his arrival, there's an all too familiar distance. The air thickens as Clara breezes through the kitchen, placing items on the counter. Maggie, why don't you let me handle the cooking tonight? You could use a break. Her tone reads as both condescending and light-hearted, masking an underlying challenge. My fingers tremble as I slice into the beef, my heart racing in protest. At the table, Clara leans into the conversation, her words dripping with suggestion. Maggie's great at the main dishes, but she needs help with sides. Right, Jacob? Her laughter echoes, barbed and sharp. I pour warmth into the meal, ensuring the gravy glistens, but anger bubbles beneath my surface, waiting to erupt. When I retort with, "I think we should just keep doing what we've always done," my voice shakes slightly, but I maintain eye contact, trying to stake my claim. Jacob nods, a fleeting moment of solidarity, but I catch Clara's smirk, the flickering flame of victory in her gaze. I think tradition has room to evolve. Clara shoots back, her challenge electric. The table quiets and I can feel the air grow dense between us. The mantra rises through me, urging strength. Injustice cannot overshadow my love. I grip the table, focusing on the wood beneath my fingers as I breathe through the tightness in my chest. Dinner continues. Laughter dances around us as Clara weaves stories and Jacob leans in closer to her, overlooking me as if I'm something merely decorative, an aging relic. The tightness grows, wrapping around my heart like vines, choking it slowly. Each moment I realize I'm fading away, a dimension of my former self lost amidst the chaos she's woven. The dessert, my beloved pumpkin pie, graces the table, but the anticipation feels muted. As Clara dismisses it casually, opting for her cake, I feel the sting intensify. "I'm sure your pie is delicious, Maggie, but really, Why bother? My heart races, every word igniting a smoldering rage. The laughter rings hollow, my family mirrored in laughter while I am adrift. But this time, I will not let her erase me. I meet Jacob's gaze, the warmth flickering like a candle in the draft. With every ounce of determination, I reinforce the mantra in my mind. Injustice cannot overshadow my love. I realize then I must approach this differently. I must gather my strength, observe her patterns, and prepare. I will reclaim my voice not in anger, but in strategic planning. And as dessert ends, a quiet determination blooms within me, a whisper that this is not the end. Instead, this chaotic dance with Clara marks the beginning of my reclaiming what is rightfully mine. Next, I will develop. Block 4. The plans take shape and gathering evidence. With the weekend behind me, I find myself reflecting on everything, a storm brewing in my heart. Each of Clara's taunts repeats in my mind like the insistent chime of a clock, reminding me how close I am to losing myself entirely. As I sit down with my coffee, the rich aroma wafting through the air, I feel a fresh sense of resolve. I will make my voice heard. I realize I need a plan, something structured that allows me to embrace my perspective without appearing confrontational. I slip into my notebook, the pages worn with age, and start jotting down Clara's behaviors, each misplaced comment, every dismissive laugh. With each bullet point I write, I feel lighter, as if laying them bare strips their power. Every Thursday, Clara invites Jacob over for lunch, where they indulge in her latest culinary creations, often at the expense of my recipes. My stomach turns as I realize how this habitual gathering sidelines me, flipping the script on tradition with her mock congeniality. I note every detail, from the menu she plans to the ingredients she uses, contrasting them with the meals I prepared. Each entry meticulously collected feels like a quiet power rising within me. These moments are not mere meals. They are an assault on my identity. The emotional fuel ignites a fire in me. I draw strength from my well of memories, the times Jacob and I joked over burnt toast, how he laughed when I accidentally put too much salt in the soup, embracing the chaos of it all. Underneath these good times lies an unyielding love that Clara's manipulations can't extinguish. I focus on maintaining that love as my foundation. One morning, while cleaning the kitchen, I stumble upon an old family album, one filled with photographs of Jacob's childhood. A soft smile creeps onto my lips as I flip through the pages. I pause at a picture of him perched on my kitchen counter, flour dusting his nose as he helped me bake cookies. The joy radiating from him is contagious. That's what I need, joy. I jot down a few notes. A plan begins to take shape. I will reintroduce Jacob to those memories. In a world where Clara's laughter often drowns mine, I will craft my moments full of love that cannot be mocked. This will require strategy, not confrontation, but playful engagement with my son, reminiscent of how we connected before. As the weeks roll on, I intensify my observations of Clara's interactions, noting the little ways she undermines our shared history. One evening, after a family dinner, she leans towards Jacob and says, "Maggie's really showing her age. You should let me take the lead from now on, babe." Each word drips with insecurity, cloaked as concern. I feel anger flare within me, a dull roar against my chest. Clara is turning our family into her plaything, distorting our shared tradition, distilling it to her whims. I feel the enormity of her presence pressed down on me, heavy and suffocating. With my frustration brewing, I realize I need allies to remind Jacob of our bond. I reach out to his childhood friends, recalling them playing at my house, how they'd pile into our backyard during summer barbecues. A few of them are still local, and I invite them over for dinner, carefully crafting a menu of nostalgic favorites that will pull Jacob back in. Telling stories of the past will serve as the foothold I need to ground him in our family dynamics anew. That night, I fill the air with the scents of grilled burgers, roasted vegetables, and homemade lemonade. The laughter around the table feels like an echo returning. They spin tales of high school antics, of how I incessantly nagged Jacob to keep his room clean, and how we baked bread every Sunday morning. The nostalgia swirls around us like a warm blanket, each memory designed to chip away at the poison Clara has carefully spread. As I watch Jacob's eyes sparkle with familiarity, something shifts within him. He's laughing, and I see traces of the boy I raised shining through the man he's become. I push through the tightness in my throat, my heartbeats matching in rhythm with the joys around me. He's here, he's listening, and I'm holding on to hope that he can draw a line between Clara's manipulations and the love we've always shared. Clara's next comment lingers in my mind. I overheard her telling Jacob a few weeks back, "Your mum's just stuck in her ways." My heart begins to race. Those words had been her subtle attempt to undermine me, to segment my love into something outdated. She's drawing a dichotomy, fashioning her version of progress as something new and exciting, while lumping me under a label of antiquity. With Jacob enjoying dinner, I decide to subtly plant seeds of wisdom. I replace Clara's label with a question. "You know, sweetheart, what if we used Grandma's old recipes to inspire new ones? Imagine a blend of the past and the present." The conversation rolls smoothly, sparking curiosity in Jacob's eyes. Laughter and heartfelt memories adorn the table like decorations. At that moment, I know that this bond doesn't need to be ruptured. It simply needs nurturing. Each mini victory pushes me forward. Days turn into weeks, and gatherings around my table become more frequent, filled with laughter that echoes of old times and sweet reminders of our shared history. Clara's attempts to monopolize our family dynamics only serve to strengthen my resolve. I keep gathering evidence and observing her, noting her every play so I can counter her at the right moments. But I also set boundaries. I take heart. This isn't just about reclaiming a place at the table. This is about redefining my connection with Jacob. I'm shifting the narrative little by little, and with every shared bite from the past and present harmonizing on our plates, I feel my voice emerge more robust than before. This battle is not only with Clara, but also within myself, a fight for my voice, my legacy, my rightful place. I will make sure my son remembers who nurtured him, the love I forged through years of connection and dedication. And as I finish my notes late one night, the mantra rings clear in my heart. Injustice cannot overshadow my love. With newfound vigor, I realize that I'm not simply reclaiming my space. I am orchestrating a renaissance of my own making. The tale of my life, my love, and my rightful place has just begun to unfold. Next, I will develop Block 5, the turning point, discovering deception. As the months drag on, I sense a tense undercurrent in our family dynamics. Things appear to be stable on the surface, but Clara grows sharper, her comments increasingly loaded, her actions subtly but undeniably undermining the space I've tried to reclaim. I feel the weight of it pressing down, a storm brewing as I gird myself for the battle ahead. One evening, while Jacob sits cross-legged on the living room floor, focused intently on his phone, I overhear him mention Clara's upcoming birthday. The excitement in his voice makes my heart clench. She's planning something amazing this year. There's an edge of insincerity in his cheerfulness that sends a shiver down my spine. Amazing, I think bitterly. The word slices through the air, heavy with hidden meanings. The days leading up to the celebration are filled with whispers and tension. My instincts are dialed up. Clara's birthday plans begin creeping into my everyday thoughts. She's made a spectacle of her celebrations, and eerily, everything she does seems to cast shadows over our shared memories. One chilly evening, as I arrive at Jacob's apartment to help set up for Clara's surprise party, I find the kitchen flooded with noise and vibrant colors, decorations that clash painfully with the warm tones of past celebrations. The atmosphere feels more like a theater stage, and I feel invisible among the hectic fervor. Clara dances between guests, leading the conversation, her laughter bright yet laced with hidden barbs. "Hey, Maggie, what do you think of my plans?" she chirps, her voice overly sweet as if trying to mask something darker. I swallow my indignation, but manage a strained smile. I can tell she's using this occasion to dominate the family narrative, but I won't let her. The turning point strikes when I accidentally overhear Clara speaking with her closest friend as they prepare hors d'oeuvres. Honestly, I can't stand how overbearing Maggie is. She thinks she can just waltz back in after all this time. This is my birthday. Each word strikes me hard, chilling my blood. Clara's true colors seep through her carefully crafted facade, reflecting contempt that I never thought she could harbor. Fury ignites inside me, but I know the fight must be strategic. My mind races as I plot a course through this treacherous landscape. This isn't merely a celebration. It has morphed into a battlefield, a twisted show of manipulation that I can't allow to go unchecked. That night, I resolved to channel my anger into something productive. I know I need to draw Jacob back into our shared history, reminding him of the warmth we once had. I create a plan that hinges on nurturing our relationship and gently steering him away from Clara's manipulation. 2 days later, I lay the groundwork. I invite some of Jacob's childhood friends over for dinner, determined to evoke fond memories. The aromas of homemade lasagna fill the air, mixing with the laughter that spills from gathered friends. I recount tales of our past, rollerblading in the park, baking cookies, impromptu movie nights, and suddenly Jacob is laughing freely, the boy I raised resurfacing from behind the man he's become. With each shared laugh and nostalgic nugget, I see Jacob soften. The strength of our history becomes the anchor that gently holds him. I embolden my approach, subtly addressing Clara's behavior without laying blame. "You know, sweetheart, there's something beautiful about our traditions that I think we can blend with your ideas. Wouldn't it be great to continue making those memories?" Yet I dare not let my guard down. I must prepare for the inevitable escalation as Clara sees my attempts to steer Jacob's perceptions. The day before Clara's birthday arrives, tensions crescendo again as I catch a glimpse of Jacob engrossed in his phone, tapping away at the same time Clara walks in. A delightful surprise is all Clara plans to serve, one I cannot let cloud Jacob's judgment. As her birthday celebration unfolds, Clara's confident veneer begins to crumble beneath the weight of my observations. I casually slip into conversation moments that depict her sharpness during dinner, cleverly framing them to shine a light on her attempts to wrest control over celebrations I once cultivated. "Remember when we played charades and you almost fell off that chair, Jacob?" I laugh, leaning on nostalgia. "That was the funniest thing." Clara's face twitches slightly and Jacob flushes with laughter as I sense a ripple of discomfort wash over Clara. But the real turning point arrives unexpectedly. Late in the evening, she gives an interview to a local magazine, showcasing her flamboyant decorations and party planning skills. Her response resonates loudly when she downplays the importance of the past, which has been woven into the fabric of family celebrations. It's about moving forward, not looking back. My way is the best, trust me. The next moment feels shattering. I look at Jacob, expecting him to mirror my disbelief, but he appears unperturbed, just sipping his drink as if the words don't sting. Panic strikes me at the realization that I might lose him. Clara is weaving a lie, an elaborate narrative that threatens to sever our connection. I feel the weight of indecision and fear, but my resolve crystallizes. I take a breath and decide that it's time to expose the facade Clara has built and reveal the truth. I need to move forward with my plan. I must speak out. It's time to confront both Jacob and Clara in a way that unravels the discord without alienating either of them. Later that night, after the guests leave, I take a steadying breath before confronting Jacob. You know, offense isn't always outright. Sometimes it creeps into even the aroma of a cake. Clara might portray me as old-fashioned, but I did raise you to appreciate the love that came with our traditions. In that moment, I see something shift in Jacob. The moment of recognition lights his eyes. He glances around the room. Memories laced with laughter glimmer faintly beneath the mainstream of Clara's persuasion. I need you to hear me, sweetheart. It breaks my heart to see you drawn into her narrative. My love for you is foundational, built on the moments we shared. I won't let Clara shatter that bond. The foundations of my words are echoed within Jacob's understanding, a point of connection that can bridge the gap. I can feel it. It's a small victory in a larger battle. In the days that follow, uncertainty still looms, but I draw strength from my mantra. Injustice cannot overshadow my love. With this strength, I rebuild, slowly nurturing my connection with Jacob, reinforcing the ties that binds us amidst the chaos Clara has intentionally created. And in her attempting to erase our shared history, I find renewed purpose. This fight is not merely to reclaim my role, but to rewrite the narrative. I stand ready for what lies ahead, with each new day fueling my determination. The awakening of reclaiming my identity within our family begins here, woven through love that will not be extinguished. Next, I will develop Block 6, the execution of the plan. As dawn breaks, the soft light filters through the curtains, filling the kitchen with warmth. I pour my usual cup of coffee, and as the rich aroma envelops me, I feel an electric surge of determination. This is the moment I will initiate my plan, a tapestry of love woven with intention. Using every ounce of clarity and strength, I set to work. I start by scheduling a family dinner at my house, and, in my mind, I envision using the familiar scents and tastes of home to work my magic. My heart races. I am creating a safe space, a sanctuary where memories can blossom and serve as a backdrop against Clara's harshness. The dinner will not simply be a meal, it will be a rebirth of connection, a revitalization of the bonds that Clara's manipulations have frayed. With Jacob on board and visibly excited, I begin to assemble a menu filled with our family's favorites: lasagna, garlic bread, and a fresh garden salad. The memories seep into each dish claimed steeped in comfort, a salve to the wounds Clara had caused. I silently gather ingredients, each one a thread in the fabric of family legacy, nurturing nostalgia designed to pull at Jacob's heart. The evening arrives, and I dress carefully, choosing a soft blue dress that flows comfortably over my form, a nod to the past while remaining firmly rooted in the present. The table is artfully laid, adorned with simple but cherished family heirlooms, plates inherited from my mother, and a vase made by Jacob in second grade. Their presence reminds me of the love that permeates our family, even if sometimes obscured. As the doorbell rings, I steady my breath. The moment is finally here. Jacob walks in, bubbling with energy. "Wow, Mom! It smells amazing in here!" His eyes light up. and that joy rushes through me like sunlight breaking through clouds. Thanks, sweetheart. I've made your favorite lasagna, just like the old days, I reply, watching as he saunters around the room, absorbing the atmosphere. The door swings open again. Clara steps inside, bringing an icy chill with her presence. She glances around, perceptibly disinterested as her eyes flit over the table I've crafted with love. This is a bit quaint, don't you think? She remarks, a slight sneer curving her lips. I feel the familiar tightening in my chest, but this time I hold firm against her barb. Quaint can often hold a lot of warmth, Clara, I respond smoothly, allowing myself a slight smile. I'm so glad you could join us for dinner. As we settle around the table, light conversation flits between us, but I can see Clara is mounting her defenses, evaluating the way I engage Jacob, perhaps even measuring how successfully our bond reignites. Midway through the meal, I initiate a tactic for my plan, steering the conversation toward family traditions and memories. Do you remember when we tried to bake bread together and it turned into a complete disaster? I chuckle softly, tilting my head at Jacob. You had flour everywhere and we nearly tripped over one another in the kitchen. A familiar warmth ignites in Jacob's eyes, and I know I've captured his attention. Clara shifts uncomfortably, her smile fading as she realizes the whole nostalgia has over him. Old stories don't feed us, Maggie, Clara interjects sharply, lifting her chin defiantly. We need freshness and innovation, not remnants of bygone days. I feel the uncomfortable prickle of anger, but cautiously hold it at bay. There's beauty in balance, Clara. Fresh ideas can thrive alongside traditions. They're part of who we are. The conversation shifts once more into a forced light-heartedness, and I seize the opportunity to weave in moments of shared laughter. Stories like our epic camping trips and celebrations of old family holidays. Clara grows restless. I can feel her frustrations brewing, but I refuse to let her disrupt this moment of connection. As dessert is served, a homemade apple pie, a recipe passed down from generations, I set the stage for my biggest reveal. The sweet aroma mingles with childhood memories, filling the room with a sense of safety. I made this just for you guys, I say softly, my heart swelling, and it's a reminder of how important our family traditions are. Clara shoots me a sidelong glance, her expression a mixture of annoyance and disbelief. Why do you insist on clinging to the past? She retorts, barely masking her irritation, but I catch the flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. It drives me forward. Because, Clara, it's our past that shapes us. It enriches the present, I reply, my voice steady as I meet her gaze. It's about love, not simply nostalgia. The declaration hangs in the air, anchoring the tension that has been building. As the meal draws to a close, I gauge Jacob's posture. He is leaning in, listening intently, the distance between us shrinking. It is an intimate moment, one that feeds my soul. Clara's attempts to dominate the night slip into the background as I focus on the warmth and laughter I've cultivated at the table. When dinner ends, I clear the dishes, leaving Jacob and Clara to discuss a feature film they plan to watch. As I step away, I hear Jacob casually mention his preference for traditional recipes, a comment that feels like a little spark of victory in my heart. That night, I retreat to my room, feeling the remnants of anxiety settle down within me. I cling to my mantra, one I have now memorized by heart. Injustice cannot overshadow my love. I knew this battle was far from over. Despite small victories, Clara remains a strategic adversary. But tonight, I feel rejuvenated by my choices, strengthened by love, community, and the rich tapestry of history woven into our lives. I recognize that reclaiming my rightful place in Jacob's life requires diligence. My plan isn't yet complete, but I am gaining traction. Each memory shared, each proud moment salvaged is a building block in my mission. Tomorrow brings new challenges, opportunities, and missteps, but with each step forward, I weave together the threads of our family's legacy, determined to fortify Jacob's understanding of our love. This is the beginning of the unraveling for Clara, and I won't waver until the narrative is firmly restored to its rightful course. Next, I will develop Block 7, the climax, confronting truth. The days following our dinner blend into a whirlwind of emotions, hope and resolve weaving through my thoughts. I know the stakes have risen, and while I build my bond with Jacob, I can sense Clara's frustration growing. It is time for a confrontation, one that will expose the truth of our family dynamics. Saturday evening arrives, and once again, Jacob invites Clara over for dinner at my house. He believes this could foster some connection, but as they step inside, I can feel the tension rising. Clara's entrance is marked by a chilling atmosphere, her demeanor rigid, her eyes quietly assessing the room. "Let's make it a fun night," Jacob announces, his enthusiasm contrasting sharply with Clara's frosty demeanor. I brace myself for the storm brewing beneath the surface. Dinner unfolds, and I serve a modest meal filled with our family's favorites. Each dish encapsulates love and memory, a rich history that Clara is desperately trying to overshadow. As we gather at the table, I notice how Clara's dismissive glances land on our shared stories. They are her adversary. Midway through, she interrupts with an edge to her voice. "Can't we talk about something new? These stories get tiresome, Maggie." "Every story has its place and purpose," I reply, carrying a calmness born of determination. "It's our past that shapes us and enriches our present." She huffs. "Nostalgia won't pay your bills or contribute to a future." With resolve threading its way through me, I decide to lay the truth bare. "You've been trying to erase our traditions, Clara. You may believe it's for the better, but you're stripping away the very fabric of Jacob's identity." They say Clara's bravado falters, but she retorts, "I just want him to thrive. That's all I'm trying to do." "You can't thrive in a vacuum," I counter sharply. "Family is love and understanding. It's not about relinquishing who we are." The tension in the air is palpable as Clara's mask begins to crack. Jacob watches, visibly unsettled, but I see sparks of clarity behind his eyes. "I love hearing Mom, Clara," he interjects quietly. "Those memories matter to me." Clara's incredulity hangs heavily, and I press on. "Every cherished memory is a building block, both of our love and of Jacob's journey. Each one is irreplaceable." "You think I'm a villain," she counters, her defenses crumbling. "I think you've lost sight of what's truly important," I assert firmly. "Love cannot simply be rewritten. It needs nurturing." In this moment of honesty, Clara's confidence wanes further, as Jacob slowly comes to understand the reality of the situation. "Clara, pushing Mom away won't help me. I already have my past with her, and I'll always value it." A silence envelops us, Clara's expression shifting as if the weight of revelation is finally hitting her. My heart races as I sense a profound turning point. Together, we are stronger than any false narrative she attempts to weave. The atmosphere softens. Clara's bravado shatters, revealing vulnerability. I glance at Jacob, seeing the unity we've fostered between us. "It's time we embrace our whole family, past and present," I say softly, my voice holding an unbreakable conviction. Jacob nods, a newfound strength radiating within him, and I sense the tides are finally turning. The darkness Clara tried to usher in stands no chance against the light of our truth. As Clara's posture falters, I feel a surge of warmth and hope. "Injustice cannot overshadow my love," I whisper to myself, holding my ground. Today marks the rewriting of our family narrative, where love triumphs over manipulation. This is just the beginning of healing. The love between us cannot be extinguished. Next, I will develop Block 8, the resolution.